Hey everyone, thanks for learning to play games. My name is Lance, and in today's video I'm going to be playing through a brand new expansion for Legendary, which is the Black Panther expansion. And I believe it says in the rulebook that they don't usually recommend you just using a single expansion, but I like to do it as I really get a good feel for all the different mechanics that they've included with this one. And there's some really cool new stuff with this that I'm going to go over a little bit first before diving into this playthrough. And so far, this one has been fairly challenging, so I can't make any promises on whether or not I'm going to win this one, but I'm going to do my best. So first off, with this one, there's a couple of new rules that are included, or new features. The first is focused around the enemies. So there is the Killmonger is one of the main masterminds in this one, and there's also some villains that are going to be in the villain deck that you're going to see as things come on or come out. But with these enemies, you are not allowed to attack them directly per se. So with them, anytime you want to attack them, you're going to do the amount of damage that they have minus any wounds that are on them, which is a new thing. And as long as they have more than one wound on them, you cannot kill them. So there's no way to claim one of these cards until you get him down to 0 health, basically. In order to do that, you have to deal 5 damage to him based on his amount of hit points that he has the first time, and then after that drops him by 1, or you can add a wound to him. Then you have to hit him for 4 points of damage, then 3, then 2, then 1, and then finally 0. At that point, you can claim one of the cards, and then this starts over again. Every time you wound him or defeat one of his cards, you have to take all those wounds away, and you'll start back up at the top. So that is a really interesting thing, and really makes both the masterminds and the villains a lot more problematic. There's not a ton of them in there, but there's enough definitely to make the game play fairly differently with that, because you really have to start really focusing on some of those different things. And especially with the city, it gets chalked up pretty quick, especially if you have some of those enemies coming out, because you're not necessarily defeating them in one round. You're setting them up for your fellow players to potentially take down in later rounds. The other big thing is that most of the characters in this expansion are also going to have ambushing abilities, which means when they come out, so when a new one comes out into the HQ, if you have played any heroes that match that ambush requirement, or you have one in your hand, you get to trigger that. And there's all kinds of different things, including being able to deal wounds to both villains and the mastermind, being able to get extra amounts of attack or slashes, coins, and so on, that you'll be able to use in different ways. So depending upon how you have your deck build up, this can be definitely advantageous to take advantage of. And in this particular expansion, it also will make you think about how you want to conduct your turn. Sometimes you might want to purchase first and hope that a new card comes out that has an ambush ability that you can take advantage of before actually using your other units to attack. So some really interesting strategies with this one. Those are the two big things with this one. There's a couple of other little things in here as well, but we're going to see how things go. So diving into this, the very first thing I want to go over is the card, the scheme card that I chose. So this one is Seizing the Wakandan Throne. And with this expansion, there is not a card or anything that represents the Wakandan Throne. I do actually have a card for that, which they were giving out at Gen Con this year, the Throne's Favor card, but otherwise you can just simply use any coin or card or whatever you want to represent that. You don't need to have anything for that specifically, but for this game, so that you can easily see how everything works, I'm going to go ahead and use that card. So from there, with this one, it's going to have us include 6 twists in the villain deck. And every time a twist comes out, if the mastermind has the Throne's Favor, then they are going to spend that, returning it to the main area, and then they're going to count that scheme as the tribe of Wakanda defeated. Otherwise, if the mastermind does not have the Throne's Favor, then he's going to gain it, and then you're going to shuffle that scheme back into the deck. And then you'll have to draw another card. So no easy way out on this one. Then the special rules, so whenever you fight the mastermind, you get to gain the Throne's Favor. And on top of that, the win conditions for evil is that if there are 5 tribes in there, then you have been defeated as the hero. So if there are 5 scheme cards underneath this card, then it is game over for the players and they have lost. From there, as always, if you find my videos helpful, if you like what I do, please consider hitting that like button and subscribe to my channel. It's one of the easiest ways you can support channels like mine so we can continue to grow, be able to produce this content. If you want to get notifications anytime I drop new videos, also give that notification bell a ring, and that'll let you know when I drop new stuff. So let's go to the table, and we'll see how this one plays. Alright, so moving in, I'm going to have my player over here be the starting player, and to represent which player's turn it is, I'm going to be using a Gen Con 50 coin that I have to just keep track of that. So moving into our player's turns, we're going to go ahead and start off by drawing a card, and it's a Scheme Twist. So this is going to drop down to him, so he has the throne. It's favor now, and then we'll shuffle this deck and redraw here. And we'll see what happens. I knew that was going to happen, that being the first card come up, of course. All right. Then we have a Master Strike. So one right after the other. All right, so the Master Strike is going to have us, each player reveals 4 different hero classes or gains a wound from Killmonger. Any player that cannot do either one of these must discard 4 cards from their hand, or down to 4 cards. So this being the start of the game, we already know for a fact our players do not have enough for that. So my player will start by dropping cards. Oh boy, each one of these had only one strike so far. This guy has 2. All right, so that's not going to do him any good. All right, so now we're ready to move into the player's turn. I have 4 buying power. So I have a couple of different choices here. I can go with one of those, or I can go with the +2. So I think I'm going to go with her, as she does give me the ability to gain a shield officer. That is pretty handy. All right, then we'll reveal a new card, and it's another secret assignment card. All right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new cards, and we're on to player number 2. All right, so we have Malice. So ambush, return a wound from the mastermind and from each villain on the wound stack. All right, so that works out. There's nobody out here right now that has any damage. And then it says, well, Malice has more than 0 strikes. You cannot fight her. Instead, you must spend strikes equal to her current strike in order to deal her a wound. All right, so she'll go there, and then we're ready to move on. So my guy over here has 4 purchasing power as well. And I think I'm going to go ahead and go with one of these. Start working on my ability, or my purchasing power. Oof, there's a big one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On to player number 3. Next card is a bystander. So Malice has captured a bystander. All right, and then my player here also has 4 buying power. So I'm going to go ahead and buy the Vibranium Claws and another one. So we have plenty of those out here. And that should have been face up. Okay. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Back over to player 1. Let's see how we're doing here. Okay, so we have so this one has each player reveals, which nobody has yet, or gains a wound. That was on Mastermind or another villain. So currently nobody, and then he works exactly the same way, so you have to slowly work at him and deal damage to him. All right. All right, so this time I do have 3 strikes, so I'm going to go ahead and spend those to do a wound to this guy. And then I do have 3 purchasing power, so I guess I will buy one of these. And another big one. Oof. All right, and then we have to shuffle up. So we have 2 power cards out ready that it's going to be quite some time before we can purchase. I'm going to slowly bog down my HQ here. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On to player number 2. We have the Frost King, or Frost Giant King. All right, so ambush. Each player reveals a blue symbol hero or gains a wound. Well, we know nobody has that yet, so everybody's gaining a wound. There's 1, 1, and 1. That was quick. Okay, on to my cards. I do have 3 strikes and 3 stars as well. So I'm going to go ahead and spend the stars to purchase. Okay, and then the 3 strikes, I'm going to go ahead and spend, now I have to spend 2 to wound him. And then finally, I have 1 strike left, so I'm going to do him another one. And then I am going to finish off there. So that is all I can do. Well, technically I could probably just finish him off, so I think that's what I'll do and take care out of there. Okay. Oop, wrong way. Should have been the other way. All right. So I got my first victory points for my middle character. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, on to my last player to go. And it's another one out here. So again, each player reveals or gains a wound that was on the mastermind or a villain. Currently there are no wounds, so luckily I don't have to suffer the consequences of that. And over to my player here, I only have 2 strikes, so I'm not going to be able to do anything with that, but I do have 4 for purchasing power, and pretty much that is all I can purchase, so I will go ahead and do that. And we have one of those. All right. Okay, so let me back over to that player. I think I did start off by purchasing one of her before, so if I can get a second one, start working on some of that, that'd be good. We'll see what happens here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, back over to starting player. Another bystander, so all right, what do we got here? And I did pull that one, so I got lucky on that. I only have 2 purchasing power, so I probably will not be buying anything at this point. But I do have 5 strikes, and with that one, I can also choose to gain an officer, which I think I will do. So I could wipe out our guy here. So I could do 3 damage, then 2, and then I don't have 6. I could do 2 wounds to him though. I could do a wound of malice, or I could do a wound to Killmonger. I think I'm going to do that, as hitting the boss is always a good strategy. 6. Okay, and it's on to player number 2. All right, so we have a Frost Giant. And let's see what we got here. All right, so I did pick up, I have my wound. I have 1 strike, so I'm not going to be able to do much with that. All right, but I do have a total of 5 for purchasing power. So I think I will pick that up. All right, and the card that I played does not have the ambush symbol on it, so will not help me with that. There's nothing I can do with the strike, so that is going to finish that off. And so that will be my turn. On to player number 3. So let's see what we got here. Oof. All right, so we got the Reverend Archibald. So this one has an empowered with the red circles, which currently we don't have any of those out. An escape. He is going to become a scheme twist immediately, so I do not want him to escape if all possible. All right. All right, so I have a wound, and I have the vibranium claws. So that's good. Unfortunately, I don't have the symbols for both of these, so that's not going to really help me. But I do have 4 attack power, so that is good. I have 3 purchasing, which is not enough to purchase anything. All right, so I'll go ahead and play him first. That way I can use this one. This one lets me wound a villain as part of that. So I'm going to add a wound. Which one do I want to add? I still have 4 strikes, so I will add one here, and that way I can take him out, because then I'll do 2 damage and then 1, leaving 1 left over to finish him off. All right, and then I have 3 purchasing power, so I think I will buy an officer. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kicking it back over to the first player. All right, so there's a scheme twist. I do have the throne, so I'm going to spend that to add this under here, and now the first tribe has been defeated. Okay, and then, yeah, the throne goes back up to the top, and it is my turn again. All right, so I have 6 purchasing power and just 1 slash, so I cannot attack anything. I do have the 6, though, so I might as well buy the big one. All right, so that's 2, and I gotta shuffle this stuff back up. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay. On to the middle player. Another bystander. Let's see what we got here. So I got 3, 5, 6 purchasing power from this player as well. Wow. And 1 strike, so still unable to do anything. I will go ahead and purchase that. And I did play this in order to do that. So the ambush says that I can look at the top card of your deck and either draw it or KO it. It's a strike. But I think thinning cards out is always a good option. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, as having the extra strike isn't going to necessarily help me at this point anyways. And that will take care of that. And I do not have anything else to purchase with the 2 that I have left. So that is going to end my turn. And we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully my last player has some ability to attack here. Otherwise, she might be getting away. All right, so 4 cards. And it is on to player number 3. It's a scheme twist. So again, this is going to kick down, and that'll get moved in and shuffled up. All right. Then we have to draw another card. It's another scheme twist. All right, so that was a quick one. So number 2, tribe number 2 is down. All right, back over to the players. I got 2 strikes. Again, not enough, and 4 buying power. So, and I've been working on those, so it might not be a bad idea to buy another one of that right away. So I think that's what I'll do. And she doesn't have any capability to do anything else. So that will finish off my turn there, and I need some more cards. All right. So we've got some powerful cards here. Some of my trial games, I had a lot of of the smaller HQ cards coming out. So we'll see how that impacts things. Been pretty fortunate so far and been able to actually afford them. So I guess that's a good thing too. Okay, back over to player one. We have another bystander. All right, so something tells me my luck is going to run out here at some point. So I have 5 purchasing power and 3 strikes. Might as well buy one of these. Okay. And she does not have an ambush ability, so then I have 3 attack power, and I think I'll gain one of these as well. So 3 attack, unfortunately, again, is not enough. Really close. Really, really close. All right. So that's that. 5, 6. Right. On to the middle player here. Ooh, so it's another big one, the Enchantress. Okay. So we got lots of big enemies too. And I'm not doing it this turn. All right, so I got 5 buying power and a wound. So I guess I will pick that up. It's an ambush. Rescue a bystander. I do have that, so is that from the supply? Okay, so it's actually adding it from there to the top of my deck. Okay, and that is it. I did purchase, so I'm going to keep that wound. And then draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, moving on. We have, that'll do it. So ambush, each player reveals a blue symbol, or each hero is going to gain a wound. All right, and this one's getting away. She does have a bystander, so I'm going to have to drop a card from here. So I'll go ahead and drop, I think, one of these. So I'll KO that card. Each player has to lose a card. So I'm just going to drop one of those. Actually, I have some attack power on that one. All right, and what do we got here? Oh, I have some strikes. Okay, and I'll go ahead and drop that. All right, then you guys all slide over. Because I don't think anybody had, and then, yeah, everybody has to reveal blue. I don't even know if, I think I purchased 1 blue so far, so everybody gets a wound as well. All right, and a new character comes out. All right, over to my player here. I have 4 strikes, so I actually have enough to do something. That's a plus. And 2 purchasing power. So I'm going to go ahead and spend the 2 to pick up one of these guys. And I do have a card in my hand with that, so I get to draw a card as the ambush effect, which gives me 1 more purchasing power, which doesn't help me. And I have 4 strikes. So I guess I will take him out. And unfortunately, his fight effect is that each player reveals a blue symbol, hero, or gains a wound. So I'm going to gain another group of wounds for everybody. Okay, so that'll finish off his turn, and we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so things are a little touchy right now. Okay, so back over here we have the Destroyer. So he's nasty. Okay, what do we got here? I only have 2 strikes, so I'm definitely not going to be able to attack anything. And 3 purchasing power, so I will go ahead and pick up one of those. Oop, that goes into my hands. And we have another big one out there, so there's 5 and 1 more. All right, over to my middle player. All right, so he's going to escape. That is going to KO another hero. And then this guy comes out. He has Empower from the fists. So there is two out right now. So he's actually a 6. All right, so I do have some decent stuff though, luckily on this one. Okay, so I have this first. That's going to give me 3 strikes. There's 4, 5, 6, and then I'm going to trigger this. It says that because of the fist, it says instead you may KO a shield officer or a wound from your hand or discard pile to gain +2 strikes. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I have 3 purchasing power. So I have 3, 4, 8 strikes. All right, so let's see what kind of options we have here. So I could take him out too, and he says that I get to choose a player, and that player KOs all any number of wound cards from their hand and discard pile. So that could be really helpful. I could target this player who picked up a few of them. Do I have any in my hands right now? I do not. Okay. So there's 2 there. This player also has a couple. Or I could take her out. That would give me 3 more cards, potentially some more purchasing power. So I think I'll do that. So that's 6. I get to draw 3 cards. And they're all purchasing cards. Okay. So I have 2 strike left. I don't have anything to do with that. But I do have 6 points of purchasing power. Well, I think I'm going to stay on going after the fists. I was hoping for a little bit more so that I could actually get one of the bigger cards, but no luck on that. All right. And we're still... He's at 5 now, so he's the lowest character out there. The other guy gets it for the swirl, so he's actually at 7. So we got 2 7s, a 6, and a 5. Oof. All right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Player 3. We have a bystander, so it buys me a little bit of time. Unfortunately, those bystanders, I'm running low on them in there. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And 1 strike. So the strike isn't going to do me any good. 6. I guess I will buy that. And that's pretty much all I can do. All right, so that's 4. So, moving on. Player number 1. We have our first first little guy out there. Okay, what do we got here? All right, so I got a wound. You put a card from the HQ on the bottom of the hero deck. I do not have another blue to get empowered yet. And she doesn't have the red symbol to trigger his ability, so I have 3 purchasing power. So I could pick that up. And then I have 5 strikes. And I can cycle 1 hero to the bottom. I guess I'll cycle her. And we have an ambush that draws a card. But I don't have one of those symbols either, so I won't be able to benefit from that. Purchasing, I have 3. I guess I will buy that. So that'll take care of my purchasing. She does not have an ambush effect. So then I have 5 strikes. He's empowered by the fists. There's 1 out there, so I could take him out. That's pretty much all I can do, or I could take him out. I think I'm gonna go ahead and pop this guy, as I don't have a lot of opportunities to take out the bigger enemies yet. So anytime I get a chance, 3, 4, 5, 6, might as well take it. Player 2. All right, so we have an ambush. A villain from your victory pile enters the city. Wound the villain, then wound the Baron by a number of times equal to the villain's victory points. All right, so she's going to come back in wounded. Unfortunately, that is going to push him out. And that was really unfortunate. So he becomes a scheme twist that takes effect immediately. So he is going to gain that. Or that's going to go to him. And then he gets shuffled into the deck. We lose a bystander. And then we have to draw another card. She comes out. So slide over, slide over. He's going to come out wounded based on her victory points. So he's going to have 4 wounds on him. So he'll go down quick. Unfortunately, that's going to move people along. And she escaped with a bystander, so that means that we are also going to have to discard a card from our hands. And then I have to draw another one of these because of the scheme twists. And it's a master strike. So let's go ahead and handle that, the first part of discarding a card from our hands. So go ahead and do that. For my middle player, he's only got 2 strikes, so I might as well discard one of those. And the player at the end here, I will do one of these. Now the master strike triggers, and that is going to have us, so each player must reveal 4 different hero classes or gain 1 wound from the wounds on Killmonger. Any player who cannot do either must discard down to 4 cards. All right, so pretty much that is going to be the case, as this guy has 2 on there, so I was halfway there. So I have to gain the wound from him. And technically it would be this guy first. So I guess we'd start with him. So he would gain the wound. Then this one has to discard down to 4, so I'll get rid of my other purchased card. And with this guy, ugh, that sucks. Okay. All right. That is everything there. So back over to me. Now I have no striking ability, so that's going to go away. I don't think I KO'd a card either, so I'll go ahead and handle that. All right, and then it's over to me to purchase. I do have 5 for purchasing power. So it's pretty much just that one that I can purchase. So I'll go ahead and handle that. I do have that I paid for, so I get to wound the mastermind. So at least he gets the wound back on him. Okay. Over to player number 3. And he comes back out here. So this guy is going to leave, which is going to KO hero. And then all of these guys slide down. Did I have a strike? Did I screw that up? No, I didn't. Okay. All right. So back over to my character here. Now this guy's got all strikes. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and play that first. And then I'm going to play the other one. So with this one, it says that I get to gain the throne's favor. So I'm going to get to add that over here. And then I'll play this one. Lets me wound a villain. So who do I want to wound? She's got 5 on her. I might as well take care and wound this guy. Okay, and then I have that, so 2, 4, 6, 7 wounds. So I might as well take him out. So he only has 1 hit point left. So now I have 6 to use. He's actually at 7. So I guess I'll take him out. And then I have to KO all of my regular heroes. So I just have the 1. Because I discarded those guys before, otherwise I would have had to KO them as well. 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so I was able to clear the field a little bit. Give me a little bit more time, hopefully. All right, then I have another one of those guys. Okay, so pretty much all purchasing with this one. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I'll pick that up. And all of mine were just, well, no, he wasn't, but she doesn't have an ambush, so it doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, over here, we have one of these guys, a frost giants. So, okay. All right, so I got a wound. At least I got some other stuff, though. Okay. So I have 2 purchasing power currently. I'm going to play that. That's 3 strikes, 6 strikes, 7, 8. And then since I played the other cards beforehand, I'm going to go ahead and just discard this wound from my hands, or KO it, to add 2 additional. So that's 10 striking power I have. So I'm going to go ahead and start off by hitting Warmonger for his. So that's 4 points. Gives me another coin or another star for purchasing. And that leaves me with 6 left. I could pop both of those, or I could hit her. So I think I'll go after her. She has 5 left, so I only had 1. I have 1 strike left. Probably not going to do me any good, but I get to draw 3 cards, so we'll see what happens with that. All right, so I got a wound. Not going to do me any good. I get 2 more purchasing power. It does have that, so it says if any villain or mastermind has any wounds, you get +2. Somebody does have wounds, so I'm going to get +2 to that. So now I have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm up to 7 now. Not bad. And then I do have this, which is going to give me 3 more strikes plus the one I had before. So now I have 4 again. And I have 7 buying power. So I'm going to go ahead and hit him again. That'll give me another star. And that's 3. And so that gives me 8. So now I can pick up one of those big cards. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one here. Okay, so that was quite a turn. Ambush. Did I have one of those? I don't think I had one of those. No, I did not. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I still have some weak enemies out there. He's only got a couple of hit points left before we at least get him down 1, so hopefully that'll happen soon. We will see. moving on to my player here. Okay, so she's empowered by the gray, so there's one out right now. All right, then it's over to me. I have a wound in my hands. I am empowered by a color of your choice. I'll go ahead and play that first. We could go blue, I'll give her 2, which is going to give me purchasing power. All right, so that's 2 for 5. And I have 2 strikes, so I'll go ahead and hit Warmonger for 2. And that gives me an extra 1, so that gives me 6. So I'll go ahead and pick that up. And there is no ambush effect on there, so that'll finish that off. Okay, kicking back over to player number 1. It's a scheme twist, so we're going to pick that up and shuffle that back in. We've already got 2. Now he's got the throne again. I forgot to keep moving that. Yeah. I don't think there was any cards that were triggered anyways, so I think we're okay. Because anytime you attack him, you're also going to get the throne. Alright, so we have another one of these. So he's going to go ahead and leave, which is going to drop another enemy. Or another hero. I'm going to KO that one. What do you know? She came right back. Alright, so, oof, I got 2 wounds in this guy's hands. And then I have 4 purchasing power and 1 strike. So I'll go ahead and use the strike to do a wound. And then I will hit him for 0, which is going to clear his wounds, and I get his card. So let's go ahead and handle that real quick. So I have fight. Each player with no Killmonger tactics in their victory piles gains a wound that was on Killmonger. Okay, so basically both of these guys are going to pick up 1. And that's it. And then I don't gain 1 because I have that card. All right. And then I have 4 purchasing power, now 5 because I dealt a wound to him. I guess I will... What have I been going after? I've got a little mix of things. I don't have any fists, so I don't think that's necessarily going to do me any good. So I think I'll pick up... Do I pick up that? I think I'll pick up this one. Ambush. I do not have one of those cards, so... And then these 2 go in there. So I've got plenty of wounds in my discard pile. She would have come in handy for that, actually, but I have to have fists in order to activate that, and I don't think I have any of those, so probably better not to add that when I can add it to this other player here that's got a lot of her cards already. Alright, 2 more. Moving over. Okay. Venom. Alright, so he has an ambush. You wound him. Wound Venom. Each player may discard a card to wound Venom again. Alright, so I think we're going to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and deal him 4. I'll handle that. Oh no, he's going to escape again. So he gets added as a scheme twist instead, as he escapes and triggers that. Ugh. Alright. That's not good. That KOs that. Okay. And then each player has to drop a card for Venom. So I'm going to go ahead and drop one of these. It's a lot of that, so I'm going to do that. And over to my player here. There's a wound. Okay. All right, over to this player. Unfortunately, I have no attack power yet, so it is all purchasing. I have 6. I think this was the player that had that stuff. So it's either her. So I think I'll pick up that. I believe it was that player. Oh man. 6. Over to player number 3. It's a bystander, so he's going to capture that. And somebody's got to have some strikes. It's not going to be this player either. So I've got all purchasing, no strikes. He's got 1 on him, which isn't going to help. And I have 4 purchasing power. All right. But I do get the throne because of that card. Okay, so there's 3. And it's going to be over to the next player to go, which I think that Legion's going to get away again. And unfortunately, those are great cards to help you thin your deck out. And I've lost 1 already. And it looks like I'm probably going to lose another one here. All right. Start doing some damage here. Alright, over to player number 1. There's the scheme twist, so he gets that, and this goes back in. So then this gets shuffled up. And we've got 3 already, so just 2 more and game is over. That enemy really hurt us. Really hurt us. And it's another bystander, so I think the next one over captures that. Finally, I got some strikes. Okay, so I got 2 purchase power. Yeah. And an ambush from that. And I do have one of those symbols in there, so you may KO one of your cards. So I'll go ahead and KO one of these guys. All right, and then as far as my attacking goes, do I have, unfortunately at this point, I don't have any cards in my draw pile to be able to trigger her ability, unfortunately. Well, I can trigger this one though, but then I take a wound. Yeah, unfortunately, I have to play that first to be able to trigger that. Otherwise, I could trigger that. And that would have been a really nice trick, but I don't have that ability. So I think I'm just going to go straight for damage, and that's going to be 7 points of damage going at the enemies. So let's go ahead and take this one out here. That lets me look at the top 2 cards of my deck and destroy one, KO it. So there's a wound gone. And then I have 4 left. She is empowered by 1. So I could take her out. And you get +1 for each hero in the HQ. So she would basically give me 1 extra, which isn't going to help. But at least I can get her. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And that will finish off my turn. All right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So at least I was able to do a little bit here. All right. So then we have Zenzi, and this one is empowered by the yellow heads. So she gets 1 on that. And then when she ambushes, she captures a bystander for each of those in there. So she's going to take 1 for that. All right. What do I got? I've got 3 for purchasing. I have wounds, and I have 3 for attack. So I'll go ahead and take care of him. So I get to draw 2, KO 1, KO wound. And then I have 3 purchasing power. Could buy one of those. I think I'm going to hold off there and just not buy anything. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, on to player number 3. It's another Frost Giant. All right. This player's got 2 wounds in his hands, 2 strikes, and 4 buying power. So I can't purchase anything. I got 2 strikes. That's not going to do anything either, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and spend my turn to get rid of those wounds in my hands and clear it. All right, over to player number 1. It is a Scheme Twist. He has it, so that is going to be number 4. So just one more and game is over. So I'm going to have to be real careful about that. All right, what do we got here? All right, we got 3 strikes and 4 buying power. She has an ability, but I do not have another card in my hands to trigger that. So the 3 strikes, unfortunately, is going to be wasted, as I can't do anything with that. And the 4 purchasing power is also going to be wasted, as I have nothing to do with that. So that was a dead hands. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, there's the Scheme Twist. So that is back in there. And unfortunately, if another one comes up at this point, it is game over. So we've got to attack him if able, unless that comes up. All right, so unfortunately, there was something that went wrong with my audio, and so I couldn't salvage it. That card has kept me alive, so I'm doing okay there. He didn't get to attack. But at this point, I am going to jump ahead to get past some of this audio, as I didn't want to scrap the whole video, as this one has quite the epic ending, and I'm really excited about that. So I wanted to hold on to the video. I did film all the way through, but I think at this point it is better just to jump to there instead of me trying to narrate through all of these turns without being able to really get in there and see a lot of that. So I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead, and then we'll catch back up towards the end of the game, and we'll see how things turn out. So let's go ahead and see where we're at. All right, getting back into it, we're really close at the end here, so we'll see what happens. I've only got a few cards left in the pile, and he has the throne, but it is this player's turn, and I already handled the card that came out. We did have a push that happened, so I have to discard a card from each player's hands. Unfortunately, that's getting our players down pretty thin here. I don't think I do have that as well, so I'm just going to drop this instead, getting rid of the regular dude. All right, into my player's turn. I've got some good cards in my hand. I got that one, it's not going to do me any good. Then that one, and all right. So let's start off with this one here. So I can KO a hero or wound from your hand or discard pile to get +2 strikes. I do happen to have a wound in my discard pile. So that's going to be worth 6, and that's going to be worth another 5, and I don't have the throne right now, so I won't be able to get that, but that's going to be 11 strikes. So that's good. So I'm going to go ahead and do 4, 7, 9. I could just finish it off here. I think I will. 10, and then that'll finish him off. All right, so that is game. And then we can determine who has the most points if you want to. I don't really track that too much. I'm just more about making it through this alive. But let's go ahead and see what happens at this point. So we had another Scheme Twist. I would have had the throne, so that would have pulled it back. This would have been shuffled back up. I think there's either two or three in here still because of that other card that went in there. So this could be it right here. All right, and another one comes out, and that would have been game. So if I wouldn't have, if I would not have finished him off here, that would have been it. As my other player did have some decent cards. I didn't have a whole bunch, though. I only had 4 attack power there. And I would have picked up 2 more, so I would have had 6 total, it looks like. So I would have probably been able to finish them off with that, but if I would not have pushed and finished them off here, that would have been game over completely. So you can't get any closer than that. Man, was that close. You really can't get any closer, and man, it came down right to the wire. So I hope you found the video interesting and helpful in deciding if this is one of the expansions you want to add to your games of Legendary. I had a really good time with this one. I like the new mechanics, and I think, like I said, with the Killmonger and those abilities really add a lot of different strategies to the game, insofar as you really have to kind of plan out, and your city really gets filled up quick. Especially with some of those enemies that have those abilities, it makes it a lot harder to handle them, as you have to hit them many times over and over again in order to take them down. So definitely really interesting, and I really enjoyed the new features in this one. Again, let me know in the comments down below what you thought, if this is one that you're looking to add, or what your favorite expansion pack is in Legendary. And until next time, I'll see you later.